Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar, and today we have a pretty dark and sad topic really hit. So for those of you who've been looking around on the internet, a lot of people have been losing their shit about something called net neutrality. Now I figured I'd talk about this because my channel being about the deep web to an extent, I kind of have knowledge about net neutrality. I know what I'm talking about over here, and I figured, you know, this fits as a topic on this channel, you know, aside from playing the random ass weird Sonic hentai games that I do on a regular basis. Now, what is net neutrality? Net neutrality, for those of you who don't know, is the idea that all internet traffic be treated fair and free and non-discriminately by any of your ISPs. Basically, every bit of internet traffic is considered equal, whether it be porn, whether it be, you know, your recipe cards you find on the internet or some stupid shit like that. You know, whatever it is, it's all equal. Now, for a lot of people losing their shit, there's a good reason for that. There's a certain group in the United States called the Federal Communications Commission, you know, the FCC, a group that aims to eliminate net neutrality and basically get rid of all those protections and basic laws that you need to keep the internet fair and free anyways. Now, the reasoning behind this is a little shaky at best. You know, whatever bullshit they want to feed you is unfeedable. All right, I don't care what my Indian boy at the FCC wants to tell me. It's a load of bullshit, anyways. There is no protection to this. It's complete asinine crap that's happening. Now, there's a multiple amount of scenarios that can happen once net neutrality is over. Now, let's assume that we're in America. All right, even if you're outside the United States, let's paint a picture. Okay, let's put ourselves in a little seat. Okay, let's play a game. Let's assume we're in America right now, whatever state you want to be, and you're on one of the big major ISPs. Now in America, there's Time Warner, there's Charter. I think they got bought out, or I think Time Warner one of them bought out each other, and then there's AT&T and I think one other. But let's assume that you're on AT&T, which is one of America's biggest internet service providers. They are a major ISP. When net neutrality goes to an end, they can decide what they discriminate against without anybody holding anything against them. Now, there are some ISPs in the United States, smaller ISPs, but these usually piggyback off the bigger ones. They lease space, so whatever policies the bigger ISPs have, it trickles down to them anyways, unless they have some sort of a contract where they lease space and then decide what to do with said space if they want to. Now, in this case, let's assume that in scenario A, there's three scenarios. Scenario A, they can throttle your connection. So let's assume that your ISP really has it out for pornography. They don't want you watching porn anymore. If you have a 50 megabyte connection, they might throttle your connection down to like a megabyte or 10 megabytes, depending on what domain you access. So in this domain, it could be Pornhub.com, Xvideos, Hentai Haven, whatever you want to fucking call it. All right, these many sites, these XXX websites in that case, get throttled down, so your experience of watching 4K HDR pornography is all but eliminated. You can't enjoy it anymore, okay? Unless you go back to like dial-up phase where you like stagger your, you know, jack off, or you stagger whatever it can as the video buffers. Scenario B, all right, you could actually end up paying more to access certain sites on the internet. So for example, let's say you have Netflix or Amazon Prime Video, whatever. These sites where you can actually watch your television shows and movies at a fraction of the cost from your fucking cable company. These sites, basically your ISP might look at 1 megabyte of Netflix data and count it up as 10 megabytes of overall data. And assuming you have a data cap of like 50 gigs a month, you're gonna rack up your data even faster than you normally would using Netflix or Amazon Video anyways, especially if you're watching it through 4K methods or HDR, anything of the sort where the file size is gonna be dramatically larger than just basic 720p. Scenario C, which is the worst, is where they can outright deny you connections to a certain website if they wanted to. If the ISP doesn't like a certain domain, case in point, let's say they don't like Netflix or something of the sort, I'm going to bring Netflix up a lot, they'll cut that out of the equation. You might not be able to access it. Scenario C includes that. Because remember, no data is treated equally. They can choose to discriminate against something if they want to. Now, there are many combinations of scenarios, but we're just going to stick with these three in particular. Now, why would ISPs be doing this? Now, this problem is a United States problem, but it extends to the international world, and I'll get to that in a bit. The biggest reasoning for this is a big problem, a big push by internet service providers to get people back on their cable plans. For those of you who aren't really familiar, if you're not from the United States or even Canada, is that when you buy internet, a lot of your companies will definitely try and package that with a TV service for you. Now, back in the day, this used to be fine. People did watch TV back in the day, and you never had services like Netflix or YouTube or anything of the sort. So you got TV so you can watch those television shows and use use the internet, and everything was fine up until a certain point. When services like Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and iTunes and all these, Microsoft Groove, whatever you want to call it, came out, because every single tech company nowadays almost always has a service where you can watch television shows and movies. It is one of the biggest businesses out there. When it comes out for making money, ladies and gentlemen, making money, streaming videos where it's at, YouTube, Netflix, all that kind of stuff, that's where the money is to be made. Now, ISPs who run these TV services well, for example, AT&T, lose money when people just buy internet from them. They don't lose money, obviously, they're making money off of you paying them, but they could make significantly more on their subscribers if they package TV or cell phones or phones with them. With you just buying internet from them and then subsidizing the TV with Netflix or Amazon Video, you end up saving money. I can say that for a fact. I have Rogers right here, actually. I've had both Bell and Rogers. They both offer television services. I've never ended up getting any TV services from these companies at all. In fact, if anything, I only get internet packages from them at a far cheaper rate, and I buy Netflix and everything entirely. So I don't buy TV from them anyways. But in the end, I end up saving money by using just online services anyways. The amount of money I pay to Netflix for a year is roughly like half of that is what I would be paying monthly just for television. So when it comes to paying for 50 shitty channels versus whatever I want to watch and then some original, network grade exclusives, yeah, I think I'm going to make the choice of paying $8 a month to the third party company. The thing with TV companies is they realize they lose their money. So, in order to get that money back, they're going to basically implement a net neutrality clause or eliminate the entire idea of protecting these core laws anyways, so that they can push their own agenda out there anyways. When it comes time to the average consumer, if they can make you buy a TV package from them by basically forcing you to, in that they're going to economically completely destroy the entire value of owning these third-party services, there's going to be less and less subscribers. They're basically going to kill a lot of these third-party tech companies that work in streaming video and whatnot. Right now, Netflix would be shitting themselves. Amazon, not so much. They got a whole division entirely, but still, they should be shitting themselves. They got a lot of money invested into this. They got a lot of money they put into Twitch.tv, where every service that does this kind of shit can be thrown into the mix. They can be thrown against the grain. They can be discriminated against at any time. It's all up to your company's discretion. As far as I know, they don't even have to communicate it to you and tell you that. They might put it on a bill or something of the sort, or they might not even give a shit about that in any case. Ladies and gentlemen, for those people who are losing their shit and are worrying truly, they have a right to worry. This is a bad situation. And the biggest problem with this isn't just a United States problem. This is a completely international issue as well. If you think that you live in Europe or Canada or Japan or anything and you're just fine and dandy, there's nothing to worry about, let me paint a picture for you. Assuming that you're a huge Netflix fan or whatnot, or Amazon Prime Video fan, if those services get discriminated against, which they are US run companies, their data servers, as far as I know, are running through the United States, if they start getting shit on and lose a chunk of their revenue they need to survive, it directly impacts anybody using those services abroad. It comes down to YouTube, Twitch.tv as well. If they don't like the idea of you using these streaming services to watch the gamers on YouTube or videos on YouTube or gamers on Twitch.tv, for instance, you lose that process entirely. YouTube and Twitch.tv becomes a shittier platform for all of us to use, and eventually they hemorrhage so much money that there's just no much point. There's no more point in keeping those things up. At some point, the company's going to have to kill it down. They're effectively killing entire websites up to their discretion if they want to. Websites, for example, if you live in the United States, if there is a website, for example, that doesn't agree politically with the ISP's, beliefs, they might choose to discriminate against them, which is actually censoring somebody's right to free speech, but not really, because it's a private company offering that kind of stuff to you, and there's a whole hoopla around it. As you can tell, it's a lot of bad stuff because we don't have freedom to the internet anymore, and internationally, this does screw up any of us that are all over the world. And the problem here is that for those of us who are living outside the United States, we don't have any option to fix this. This entirely relies upon U.S. Constituents, people living in the United States that are of legal age to vote, to actually do anything of the sort. Now, up until now, net neutrality isn't totally gone yet, but it is being completely dismantled. There's always a way to get this stuff back to what it usually was. And you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to call Donald Trump and send him dick pictures or anything of the sort, or tweet at him really nasty thoughts, because he's just going to block you. What you can do, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in the United States, is you can call your local congressman or congresswoman, and you can tell them, hey, about that net neutrality, and get them on a nice speech. Tell them about your wife and kids, husband and kids, whatever. Send them pictures of your dog or some stupid shit like that, and get to the point of you not voting for them again next term. And I guarantee you, if enough people do that, these people are going to lose their shit and net neutrality will be back. You threaten the people in power with them losing the power that you gave them in the first place, and let me tell you, your internet's going to be back to functioning form sooner or later. But if you don't do it, then the very reality of you losing the services that I guess some people do take for granted in any case is all but going to be eliminated. Or at the worst, the prices are going to be jacked up to the point where you don't have any competition but to get the shittier package from your cable provider. So if you enjoy television, enjoy video games, enjoy the internet in any capacity, whether it be for entertainment or usage or for rights usage or journalistic purposes or all that kind of stuff, this is important to you. And even if you're not a huge fan of the internet, this does affect things even outside the internet too. So it affects everyone. It's a bad thing, and it only benefits those fucking assholes that are running a few companies to give us the internet packages that we pay for. All right, so do something. This affects anything, whether it be the Tor relay, gaming, all that kind of stuff. It's a huge hoopla, and I hope I've explained what really needed to be explained out of this. It's a problem, and for those people who are losing their shit about it, yeah, they should be. That being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. Please talk to your local constituents. Talk to your congressmen, congresswomen. Talk to your political leaders. Let's get this shit fixed. Please, America. Please sign the rest of the world. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.